I just want to bring your attention to the Rajasthan Royals. We talked about it briefly. I've just got the list here on the Cricbuzz app. Against Punjab, it was the Munkering incident. Suddenly they lost their heads and they lost their way. Against Hyderabad, we talked about it, 198 for 2. They could not win that one. Against Chennai, they needed 25 of 12. They didn't finish that. Against Chennai, they failed to defend 18 when Stokes bowled that over. And against Punjab, 85 of 50, needed 8 wickets in hand, lose by 12. So they've been in almost every single game, but they've lost 6 out of these 7, including today.
Yeah, small margins, unfortunately, at this level. There's no one who's going to gift you victories, and you have to be able to pull that knockout punch when it's required and get over the line. And that's often why it's the experienced campaigners who we sometimes take for granted. I mean, Dhoni is an example of one of those who didn't get over the line last night, but he normally just pulls it off, and you think, oh, well, they should have won it, they should have won it, they should have won it. But to be able to should have won it, you still got to have the guy produce the goods, and it's an art. It's not something that you just learn overnight, and that's why the guys get paid the big bucks at that time of the innings, because that's where it can ebb and flow. It can be won or can be lost, and you have to hold your nerve and produce. So that's what they haven't managed to do, and it probably means they're out of the tournament.
What do you think they missed in the field? Because they had enough runs on the board, to be fair, 191.
Yeah. I mean, just to add to that list that you talked and today, maybe what's happened is that Ben Stokes is the man that you would associate with all those situations. One, that last over that you mentioned, things didn't go their way. When they're chasing, they expect him to come and do that. Even today, the total. So maybe it's just that one man that you were banking so much on. He didn't fire. On the other side, you look at Kolkata Knight Riders. Their man is always fired in that situation. So they have that many wins, and these guys don't have those wins. And that's what I mean by these teams, that each team is playing against each other. They're playing the total. They're just not carrying on playing. They're planning so much and hoping that every piece jigsaw puzzle is going to work. You've got to keep going with whoever's playing well in that particular season, that particular game, that particular situation, rather than say, this is your job and this is somebody else's job. It's the job of the team to finish that game, and that's probably the reason where Rajasthan is on that table.
You do also feel maybe that Ben Stokes is carrying a niggle. The fact that he hasn't bowled doesn't really make sense to me, that in the last two games. I think if he's got something wrong with him, he can bat, but he can't bowl. That makes sense. But the way he's charging around the field, but with all the experience he's got, you would think at that back end, when you have to try and close the game, I know he didn't get it right against Chennai, but you would think he would at least bowl an over or two and use that experience.